What happened before May 4th, 1970? We'll show you a new exhibit that aims to teach people about the vocal majority.
The case of the hit and run of Kent State student Colin Rowe this past August is moving forward with the police putting out an arrest warrant. More on the developments.
The president and CEO of FedEx Custom Critical spoke in Franklin Hall last night. What she talked about later on.
And former President Donald Trump made his way to the train derailment site in East Palestine, Ohio. We have the details of his visit. All this and more as TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good Wednesday evening, Portage County, and thank you for joining us. I'm Chris Abreu.
And I'm Kelsey Drennen. We begin with a new exhibit that is getting added to the May 4th Memorial in Taylor Hall.
That's right, Kelsey. The opening for this temporary exhibit, called The Vocal Majority 1969, is in remembrance of the largest anti-war protests in U.S. history.
TV2's correspondent Jacob Brooks is there live. Jacob, what can you tell us about this exhibit?
Hey, Chris and Kelsey. So the exhibit is called The Vocal Majority 1969, and it officially opened to the public about an hour ago with this large group of people that are here. There are family members of those involved. Also, several top university officials are here as well. They just wrapped up a presentation kind of introducing this and explaining what it is. So this exhibit basically explains what leads up to the events of May 4th, 1970. It talks about the biggest anti-war protest in history that happened in 1969, and they've got a whole bunch of artifacts here. They have newspaper clips from the Kent Stater. They have maps and data that really explains what happened leading up to 1970. And earlier today, I had the chance to talk with Skylar Risley. She is the graduate assistant that put this together, and she put everything into context for us.
Is all of these people, about 2 million people in the U.S. coming together in this massive protest. Even though you have all these people and this protest is a success, it doesn't work. So it doesn't end the war. So then they kind of realize that they have to take things to the next level, which is about, resistance and movement.
Okay, so Skylar has been working on this project for months. She said putting it into an exhibit basically started last summer, but before that it was this big 40-page essay she had to write for her one of her graduate classes. So she's been working on this for a very long time, and I also had the chance to talk to her today about why she says this 1969 is so important.
1969 is very important in explaining events of 1970, where people are saying, if we protest enough, then we'll get these results. And since it doesn't work, then that's what is the impetus for May 4 of 1970.
And she also added right at the end of our interview that even though this story is about 1969, that people who are here should use it to reflect on their lives in the 21st century. And if you do want to come here, this exhibit will be open until the end of May at the May 4th Visitor Center in Taylor Hall. Live in Taylor Hall, I'm Jacob Brooks, TV2 News.
Thanks, Jacob. Now, just yesterday, the CEO of FedEx spoke right here on Kent's campus to students about personal branding and getting into the workforce.
TV2's Noah Rowe has the details of the event. Noah?
Hi, guys. That's right. President and CEO of FedEx Custom Critical, Ramona Hood, shared her experience with students, faculty, and staff last night. She talked about her own personal growth and diversity in the workplace, as well as advocating for better working conditions. Custom Critical CEO and President Ramona Hood visited Kent State and shared her story of success with students, staff, and faculty.
That was in 1990. I was a 19-year-old single mom and really just looking for a job that had consistent hours, Monday through Friday, so that I could have daycare for my daughter.
Hood also shared how she let her daughters know about the news that she was going to be the first Black CEO of a FedEx company. The
call was to my two daughters. I have two girls, one is 30-something and one is 20. And so I called them and I said to them, it's official. I just accepted the offer letter. And my oldest daughter said on the call, Mom, did you just break the glass ceiling?
She also touched on the importance of diversity in the workplace and the value it brings to a team.
Yeah, so I think diversity is critical in making good business decisions. At the end of the day, a diverse thought process will allow you to think about things that maybe you individually would have blind spots to.
Hood then gave advice about how to navigate the workplace and gave suggestions to students about how to advocate for themselves.
You take jobs to make a life and take care of yourself. you take careers for a journey of roles and positions that you want, and you are your best advocate.
Hood also covered how important it is to find good mentors to guide people through their careers.
I can tell you that most people want to help others, and the idea of you inviting someone to give advice, most people will welcome that. So you don't need to have this large network, but it's really about how you can help that person and how they can help you.
Hood ended her discussion by talking about the importance of communication in the workplace.
Communication is so important to the heart of the business. Rather, it's about how we communicate our purpose, our why, the initiatives in our strategy. Our communication team plays a role in every piece and part of that.
For more updates on this and other stories, visit kentwired.com. Reporting from Franklin Hall, I'm Noah Rowe.
Hello everybody, I know I'm usually your anchor, but today I will also be giving you your Wednesday weather report. So as we look here at the currently in Kent, you can see that we're seeing 44-degree weather. It's a little cloudy, it feels like 40. Not too bad for the middle of February, so I can't complain. I will say though it was a bit gloomy walking around to class this morning and stuff like that. But we have a dew point at 34, a wind at about 6 miles per hour towards the southeast. Humidity is 91%, that's because it's been raining all day obviously. So it might feel a little warmer than it is. And for visibility is about 3 miles out. Right now, as you can see, as we head into tonight, we're going to keep seeing the rain. It's going to start heating up too as we head into tomorrow. We're going to see 55-degree weather, but showers continuing. As we go into midnight, you might be able to peek out and see some stars, but still pretty cloudy out there with rainfall. And it will keep getting warmer, about 58 degrees. And then when we head into 9 a.m. the next morning, that rain will finally stop, but it is going to cool down a little bit at 47 degrees and still cloudy. And then for tomorrow, we have a beautiful day. Honestly, you can't ask for a lot better than February. 67-degree weather with clouds out. The sun will be peeking through, though, a little bit. And in the middle of February, I don't know what else you could ask for, to be honest. I wouldn't have expected 67, nearly 70-degree weather. So go out and make sure you enjoy it tomorrow. But that is all I have for now. While you will see me back at the desk shortly, you can still see me back at the weather wall later on for the rest of your weather report. Kelsey?
Thanks, Chris. An arrest warrant is out for a driver charged in the fatal hit and run of Kent State student Colin Foe. Atwater resident Timothy Bryant is charged with a third-degree felony after he failed to stop after hitting Foe. No other charges were filed because police say they determined Bryant was not at fault for the crash, and he is not in custody at this time.
The U.S. Supreme Court just denied a petition from Akron activist and businessman Sage Lewis. The denial bars Lewis from establishing a homeless camp on private property. While he was denied of this petition, Lewis said that the fight is far from over. He said, quote, "The way we treat homeless people in Akron, Ohio is a crime against humanity by any measure," end quote.
And the Ohio GOP reintroduced a bill that would restrict certain medical procedures that transgender minors are allowed to receive. Lawmakers introduced a new version of the SAFE Act. The bill would prohibit both hormone therapies and surgeries for transgender minors. Under the bill, Ohio's Attorney General would be able to punish therapists or doctors who refer patients out of state. The bill would give 180 days to any minors on hormones to stop.
Ohio Lieutenant Governor John Husted laid out the groundwork for a potential 2026 governor campaign. Husted filed a designation of treasurer to the Secretary of State's office, which establishes who will oversee the money in his campaign. He also launched a new campaign website. The Ohio Republican has been expected to run and succeed Governor Mike DeWine, who just started his final term.
And Giant Eagle says they are discontinuing the sale of bottled water coming from a facility near East Palestine, following the recent train derailment causing toxic chemicals to be released in both the air and water. The company said one of their water suppliers is only 25 miles away from the incident in East Palestine. Although the water they use is reportedly from a nearby spring at a higher elevation than East Palestine, Giant Eagle said they do not want to take any chances.
And former President Trump visited East Palestine, Ohio earlier this afternoon alongside other Republicans. More on his visit and what it means.
And President Biden spoke in Warsaw, Poland last night. We can tell you his overall message and key points.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Former President Donald Trump visited East Palestine earlier this afternoon, the site of a train derailment that caused toxic chemicals to spew into the environment. As a part of his appearance, Trump stepped into an intensifying conflict between Republicans and Democrats on environmental issues.
Trump appeared alongside Ohio Senator J.D. Vance and Representative Bill Johnson. He is expected to help provide relief materials to the community. This comes after Trump continues to criticize Biden for his handling of the derailment.
You are not forgotten. You are not forgotten. We stand with you, we pray for you, and we will stay with you in your fight to help answer, and the accountability that you deserve. We'll have that accountability. It'll all be out there very clearly.
And former President Trump is not the only one visiting. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is expected to visit the site of the train derailment sometime tomorrow. This comes after Buttigieg received pressure from critics and residents to visit the site.
A source close to Buttigieg says now is the right time for him to visit since the EPA is moving out of the emergency response phase and starting the long-term remediation phase.
And continuing with the derailment, Governor DeWine sent out a press release earlier this afternoon. It says that East Palestine's municipal water is free from contaminants associated with the derailment, but they will continue to test the water once a week out of precaution. Columbiana University is also sampling private well water in the town and advises those who receive water from wells to drink bottled water until they get results.
The release also mentions the EPA has detected no contaminated air within the 560 homes they have tested thus far. Details about the surface water and soil cleanup are given in the press release as well. And over half of the states in the U.S. are trying to restrict voting. Around 150 state bills were introduced or pre-filed at the end of January. An analysis was done by the liberal-leaning Drennen Center for Justice at New York University, saying a rise in these bills is making it harder to vote compared to last year. This potential legislation is part of a Republican-led push to change laws after claims of voter fraud in the 2020 presidential election.
A bill to allow students to carry concealed weapons on college campuses cleared both House chambers in West Virginia. Tuesday, the House of Delegates passed the Senate bill allowing concealed carry on campus despite opposition from leaders at most of the state's colleges and universities. Now, it just needs the governor's signature to become law. 13 lawmakers voted against the bill, including Fayette County Democratic Delegate Elliot Pritt, who crossed party lines to support the measure.
And 3 climbers are dead after getting caught in an avalanche while scaling an 8,000-foot peak in central Washington state. A 6-person climbing group attempted climbing a steep gorge on Sunday afternoon. 4, including the 3 climbers, were swept down around 500 feet. The 3 died due to trauma sustained by the fall, while the 4th sustained non-life-threatening injuries.
Over 65 million people could experience this harsh weather and possible power outages. The upper Midwest is expected to experience the worst of it, expecting to get over 2 feet of snow over this 3-day storm. I gotta say, I'm not excited about the crazy weather that's happening, but Chris, how did you get onto the
I don't know, Kelsey. I have a couple jobs today. I'm busy. I'm a busy man.
You are really busy, actually.
Well, thank you very much. So, as promised, I'm back with the rest of your Wednesday weather report. Now, We are experiencing some technical difficulties. We'll have it just in a second, I promise.
Well, I heard that we're having some issues, but that's all right. Thank you, Chris, for the weather report from earlier on. So weeks of dry winter weather is causing concerns for Italy as they are worried of another drought after this past summer. This concern comes after Venice, that normally has a primary concern of flooding, is actually facing low tides, causing the gondolas, water taxis, and ambulances to struggle navigating the canals. This problem is being blamed over many issues, including a lack of rain, a full moon, and sea currents. Can you tell them to turn my TV on, please?
President Joe Biden reaffirmed his support for Ukraine last night in Warsaw, Poland. He vowed that the U.S. would not tire in its efforts and described America's support for NATO and Ukraine as a fight for freedom. This comes just hours after Putin's federal address to Russia, saying that his country should prepare for a long war ahead. Biden is currently on his way back to Washington, D.C. after spending time in both Ukraine and Poland. Russian President Vladimir Putin delivered his State of the Nation address Tuesday. Putin outlined no vision of when the war on Ukraine might end. He did, however, announce Russia's suspension in their participation in the New START nuclear arms reduction treaty. Putin said the reason being is that, quote, U.S. and NATO openly state that their goal is the strategic defeat of Russia. In Moscow, Russia and China are reaffirming their ties with Vladimir Putin by hosting China's top diplomat. Sources say Russia is trying to offset sanctions placed on them by the U.S. and European countries with Chinese products instead. Chinese diplomat Wang Yi says the U.S. is fueling the war by providing a steady stream of supplies to Ukraine, and that they are the ones who are calling for negotiations.
The North. U.S. and South Korea have amped up military drills in recent months, and there's a growing call for South Korea to have its own nuclear program. But as of now, it seems that this is neither realistic nor viable.
And in a back-and-forth battle with Ball State, can the Flashes win on the road? Find out coming up in sports.
And any of you out there dog owners? Well, then today is an important day for you and your dog's health.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
On the road, pulling them down to sit second in the MAC standings behind Toledo. Now, despite how the score looks, it was a back-and-forth game all night. In fact, there were 7 different lead changes, but Kent in the end just couldn't hold that lead. Jalen Solinger put up a huge three-pointer to give the Flashes the lead in the first half, but in the second half, the Cardinals went on a 16-3 run at the beginning. Although the Flashes tried to battle back going on a 6-0 run, the fouls at the end of the day got the best of them and they couldn't battle back. However, Sincere Carey led the game with 21 points, shooting 75% from the three and 80% from the free throw line. He led the rest of the team, and they will battle Bowling Green on the road Friday at 5 p.m., visiting them. And we might not be having beautiful weather today, but with this beautiful weather we'll get tomorrow, who wouldn't want to hit the green? The Kent State women's golf team just missed the top 10, coming in at 11th place at the show in Las Vegas. They were led by freshman Leon Tagachi, who vaulted the team for a 34th on the final day with a team best round 3 score of 71. They will now travel to my home state of Texas to compete in the Trinity Forest Invitational on March 6th. And on the 43rd anniversary of the Miracle on the Ice, we'll hit it to the rink. Preds on the power play here, trying to build a nice lead. Tomasiano in front. That'll be 2-0 Predators. And on a gorgeous pass from Ethan Barrett through the neutral zone, Andrei Kuzmetsov, he's got some wheels on the cute little breakaway, cutting the lead in half. And Canucks, they're going to tie it up, but the Preds are going to come on over here. Lots of action around the front of the net. It's quite a scramble, but on the backhand, Niederreiter, he will take it in for Nashville, giving them the lead back. This has been a back-and-forth game all night long. Lots of goaltending happening here. Don't call it a comeback, though. They're already here. On the feed from Hughes, Connor Garland makes it 3-4. Quick and easy. You can lose your lead just like that. They're coming back. It's coming back. A little bit of time left. Miller, he's going to shoot it, and Kuznetsov gets a piece of it for his second goal of the night, sending it to overtime. Connects are having a huge comeback, but can they get it done in overtime? We have to end up going to a shootout, and it's some 1v1, and Matt Duchesne will get the best of Delia. Time for a Nash Bash because it's a Preds win, 5-4. And for TV2 News, I'm Della Fowler with your sports report. I'll catch you on the court, Portage County.
Welcome back. If you're trying to find a reason to go outside today, then we have the excuse for you. It's National Dog Walking Day. Walking your dog can be beneficial to both you and their health. Some of these health benefits includes improved cardiovascular fitness, lower blood pressure, and decreased stress. So, if you're the owner of this furry friend, show them some love by taking them for a stroll around the block.
And Fat Tuesday may be over, but some might choose to continue treating themselves. Today marks National Margarita Day. The day is surprisingly simple. You celebrate while drinking a margarita, that's it. These days, many Mexican restaurants offer more than the regular lime flavor, so if you're interested, why not try branching out?
I gotta say, that's pretty cool.
No, pretty cool. We're thinking about going to dinner right after this, too.
No, we are. Yeah, we are. We love
to our local college town Mexican restaurant.
We love going out and just grabbing dinner, so we might have to grab one. But anyways, National Dog Walking Day. Do you have a dog?
I do have 2 little teddy bear puppies.
What are their names?
Lola and Pablo.
Oh my gosh, so
Very
cute.
Very cute.
My dog is Edgar. I miss him so much. He's a little Shih Tzu. I am missing him so much though. But
well, and that is all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for joining us.
For updates on all these stories and more, visit our website at KentWired.com and follow us on all of our social media at KentWired. I'm Kelsey Drennen.
And I'm Chris Abreu. Have a great night, Portage County.
This is Portage County's TV2, broadcasting from the campus of Kent State University. Streaming online at KentWired.com.